high-tech stuff that's happening. And I'm not against high-tech, but it's all being backdoored as a Trojan horse to control humanity, and our money and energy of the giant 7.5 billion human horde, as we're called, is being used to take our energy to build our prison and our own extermination grid. One final caller, and all the rest of them, Dr. Mike in Wyoming, Julie in California, Danny in Tennessee, Ryan in Colorado, they're all calls for Ben Fuchs. I've got to go tape an interview with, he was going to be on last night, but he couldn't get here, so we're doing it today with a interesting musician. And so I'll tell you about that before we leave here. But we're going to have some special stuff for you on the InfoWars Nightly News tonight, 7 o'clock Central. But pharmacist Ben Fuchs is going to be running the show here for the rest of the hour so that he can take your calls, but first get into a bunch of important health news that really is revolutionary. But Immortal Technique will be reportedly on the Nightly News show with an interview that we'll be taping today. The news has been live the last few weeks, but I think we're going to tape it today because I'm going to do the news and do the interview because I've got to get out of here at about 5 o'clock. I have a prior commitment. Okay, let's go to a final caller on the vets getting the letters en masse, being told, no judge, no jury, you are now incompetent because we once put you on medication under orders, or the anthrax shot hurt you, and so you have no Second Amendment right. You are the enemy. If you don't turn them in, a young SWAT team is waiting to come and kill you, basically. And that's what they trained for, that the vets are the #1 enemy, and now it's all official. Chad in California, you're on the air. Last caller from the vets.
Hi, Alex. How you doing?
Pretty good.
All right. Hey, I don't want to pick apart what the federal government decides to do. I think you do an outstanding job at doing that. I haven't received my letter yet, but I'm anticipating it. I am a disabled veteran. My health is dwindling, and I just need a moment, an uninterrupted moment of the air so I can read something that I feel like will touch callers worldwide. Okay, all right. It's called In the Eyes of a Wounded Warrior. Images of one hanging his head, chaos amongst the living, carrying the dead. Once bitten, twice shy, ready to live and ready to die. Storming on the inside, bullets flying, where do I hide? Dilated pupils, heart pounding, this feeling in my gut, tension mounting. Floating metal, dropping fire, indiscriminate blood under the tire. These events arranged, forever changed. Welcome back, mind rearranged. Controlled mind, blood splatters. Red Cross message, loved one's heart shatter. Happy war machine, pockets got fatter. Thoughts of the mundane, driving pain, it's insane. Suit and tie sent us to die for a lie. Dredged excuses creating this mess. Abandoned little boy consciousness penniless. Well-being thrown in the ditches. Polluted humanity for false riches. Trading your guilt and shame for camera fame. Manipulated words, war is a lame state of mind, not a game. Executive decision to kill. Please forgive me, heaven have thy will. That's it.
All right. Well, what do you think the veterans are going to do? Is they're told that they are, quote, incompetent and told your wife has to run your finances, or maybe she's mentally ill too, and we're going to take your kids, and they've done nothing. And now they're the hunted ones. And Homeland Security was always set up for them.
Well, I think that the First Amendment is our freedom of speech, our right to assembly. And if we are taking that, if that one is taken away, we have the Second Amendment. And that's what I think about that.
Spoken like an American, also now known as a terrorist. Thank you for the call. And again, it's former military, mainly their police, who are now going to go harass the military. And then as soon as they're done with you cops, they're going to take your guns too. And it's just incredible that I've known for 11 years Homeland Security was set up for the troops. I've known that. And I've said that, and I've put it in films, and I've warned you, and I've broken it down, and I've studied authoritarianism. I'm not patting myself on the back. My point is, this is real. And we have ruthless globalists that 13 years ago in 99 signed deals that were in Bloomberg a few years ago in AP, where the death benefits of troops, where they tell you, oh, sign here to have some of your check taken out for life insurance for your family. They signed a deal with Prudential and others just to take all that money. And they said, well, we got the Veterans Affairs to agree. And that's why they can say, we're going to hold up your back pay until you agree to say you have a psychological problem and go on these drugs. We're going to test you to make sure you're on those drugs. And you're like, well, I want my $50,000 or I want my $100,000 in some cases. you know, all the back pay you've been saving or whatever. By the way, if you're in the military, take every dime of it now. And don't invest it in any of their investment deals. You're never going to see any of it, okay? You understand that? And again, this is not part of some military butt-kissing operation. Military knows when they're out there doing checkpoints and being part of it, I'm in their face. But it really makes me sick watching the military being abused like this. While the very people doing it talk about how much they love the military. That's their cover. Like liberals say they're liberals, they're authoritarian eugenicists who created the Nazis. These are people that are into how humans work and controlling us and gaming us. They're con artists with a science plan and a propaganda corps. But none of their fancy garbage matters anymore when you know they're the enemy. You understand that? Once you understand the score and their tricks, they only run about 15 different tricks. You know the play. Look, I've seen the card, man. I know what you're up to. Now, I'm turning the rest of this hour over to pharmacist Ben Fuchs, who was with me as a guest, but he's such a good talk show host, joining us via video Skype. I'm going to turn it over to him. But first, here's a report Jakari Jackson just did that was going to air on the Nightly News tonight. But I thought, why not just air this now? Because it gets into the veteran situation and kind of boils it all down, some of the backstory. Because, you know, Drudge is linked to the article about you know, the current thing, which is great. Our Infowars.com article that we, you know, discovered what Drudge was covering, we then wrote an article just adding some of the history of this to it at Infowars.com. So go check out the DrudgeReport.com link on the left-hand side and then go and all the gun-grabbing news, then go check out our link with the backstory history on it. But right now, let's go ahead and go to this clip. Here it is with Jakari Jackson.
I'm Jakari Jackson for the InfoWars Nightly News. With all the pro-military coverage in the media, it often flies under the radar that veterans are viewed as the new terror threat. We've seen the use of Timothy McVeigh and others used to demonize all veterans, pushing the image of the angry, disgruntled vet, charging them with felonies and labeling them terrorists for doing things such as investigating surveillance cameras and demanding the rights that they fought to protect. Homeland Security has lumped servicemen in with, quote, right-wing extremists. And using what can best be described as bunk science, veterans are having their right to bear arms taken away. Even the Boy Scouts have run simulations on how to brutalize, quote, disgruntled veterans. Telling a veteran that they are too traumatized by the military experience to own a gun is like disarming a robbery victim because they are too traumatized by their home invasion. Now, while I do agree that there are some veterans that may not be the most sound of mind and body, you can say that of any in the American population, regardless of occupation, race, sex, location, or any other of many factors. And it's not always demonizing vets. Groups have worked behind the scenes to take away death benefits, trample religious freedoms, and even charge soldiers for the medals that they earned. And we've heard the anecdote that soldiers of old would roll over in their graves if they had to deal with this kind of treatment. But the fact is that many veterans roll out of bed every day having to deal with these same issues. I'm Jakari Jackson for the InfoWars Nightly News.
And every night you get at least 30 minutes of that, sometimes 2 or 3 hours, but we've got it cut down to an official 30 minutes for TV, and then sometimes we go into overdrive for the PrisonPlanet.tv members. Become a PrisonPlanet.tv member today. Okay, Ben, you're going to break in 3 minutes. You got about 43 minutes. You've got the floor. Pharmacist Ben Fuchs, and you've got loaded phone lines there. Julie, Danny, Dr. Mike, Tim, Ryan. He'll get to all of you. Ben, you've got the floor. God bless.
Thank you so much, Alex, and I can't tell you what an honor this is. I've been an info warrior since the late 90s. That's when I started listening to Alex Jones, and to get to participate in this fashion is quite an honor. So thank you very much, and thank you to everybody out there at the InfoWars studios. Rob Dew, Chris. Shout out to all you guys. Thank you for everything you do, Aaron Dykes. My name is Ben Fuchs. Most of you guys probably know who I am. I've got a radio program called The Bright Side on the Genesis Communication Network. It airs 8 to 9 Pacific Time, 10 to 11 Central Time. 5 days a week, we talk about the glory and the greatness of the human body, despite the fact that it seems like we are falling apart. Americans are the sickest culture in the history of the planet, despite the fact that we have the highest healthcare costs and more doctors per capita than any other country in the world. We're sicker than any other culture has ever been. But despite that, I have hope in the human body. I'm a lover of the human body. I've been studying the cells and studying tissues and studying the organs of the body since 1983 when I got into pharmacy school. And if there's one thing that I've learned It is this. The human body is a healing system. It's a regenerating system. It is designed divinely to heal and renew itself on a moment-to-moment basis. And if we are not accessing this healing power, we are doing something wrong. And the fact of the matter is, friends, because of this built-in nature, because of this built-in healing nature of the human body, it is not difficult to access it. It's not difficult to access what is already there. We simply have to stop doing the things that cover this up. Most importantly, we have to stop interacting with the corporate swill that passes for food. McDonald's, Taco Bell, processed food, boxed foods, these need to be avoided like the plague. There is flat out no way we are going to be able to access our healing and health greatness as long as we are interacting with this corporate food lifestyle. We'll continue when we come back from our break. I'm looking forward to taking your phone calls if you've got questions about health, nutrition, prescription drugs, the longevity products, which you can get at Infowars.health. We want to hear from you on the Alex Jones program. We'll be back right after this break. Don't go away.
Hello, I'm Alex Jones. Myself, my family, the Infowars.com team want to relay to you and your families that we are intensifying our efforts against the globalist on every front. Infowars.com is leading the fight against the technocrats. But we can't do that without your help. By getting the films, bumper stickers, and T-shirts at Infowars.com, you will wake up people in your area and support our operation as we move to the next level. We need your help to spread the word like never before. They wish to hide themselves during this tectonic battle between the forces of freedom and darkness. You are the response to the globalist technocrats and their program of global eugenics, dehumanization, and ultimate extermination. The war is here. It's an info war. The spirit of 1776 versus the mindset of 1984.
Time and time again.
You need to come here and help us. We need assistance, please.
Those we should be able to depend on let us down.
Federal and state and local officials saying help is on the way. Well, the folks here in Bell Harbor say, show me.
Don't depend on the government to save you. Take action now so that you're prepared for the next disaster with MyPatriotSupply.com. Get the best prices on storable food, non-GMO seeds, water filtration devices, home canning equipment, survival and self-reliance books, and more at MyPatriotSupply.com. Call 866-229-0927.
We are hurting down here, and we need help immediately.
Before it's time to survive, it's time to prepare. MyPatriotSupply.com. MyPatriotSupply.com.
Is there a less expensive way to detoxify your body? Yes, microplant powder from hempusa.org frees your body of toxins from virus, fungus, bacteria, vaccinations, pharmaceutical residues, heavy metals, parasites, and toxic chemicals in your food and water for around $10 a month. And for persistent health issues, try our Matrix Bio Powder together with microplant powder for a deeper cellular cleaning. Call 888-910-4367 and see what our powder, seeds, and oil can do for you at hempusa.org.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. Have you ever wondered why banks, stockbrokers, investment advisors won't talk about gold IRAs? They've been available since 1986, yet the financial industry won't recognize the value of gold for your retirement. Gold has outperformed paper investments, yet no word about IRAs. If you would like to have gold for your retirement, call 800-686-2237. Don't get left behind by rising inflation and low returns. Call 800-686-2237. Secure your future and call 1-800-686-2237.
Your freedoms are on the line. The Second Amendment is in danger. How soon before your freedoms are taken away? What can you not live without? What is your greatest dependency? Is it your guns? Is it your home? No, it's food. It all boils down to the food supply. Tyrannical governments control people by controlling their food supply. Don't be dependent. Be self-sufficient. Don't wait for the government to feed you. Feed yourself. I can warn you, but I can't feed you. Do like Alex has done and get a supply of food from eFoods Direct. It's the best long-term storable food on the planet. Get the popular Mega Patriot Pack free. A 24-day supply of food plus stove, cook pot, and fuel. Call 800-409-5633 or